Welcome everyone to episode 6 of the Lost Cause podcast, the only podcast by players and for players of the Lost Woods Draft League, hosted by the incomparable Leaf. I'm Jacob.
I'm Chris. I'm coach of the Macho Mudkips.
I'm Kian, coach of the Massachusetts Mareeps.
I'm in, coach of the Lexington Luxrays.
I waited. I gave you.
I'm coach of the Macho Mudkips. I was like, is he gonna do the little buy the game? Like, I was waiting for that.
I saw him
I wasn't sure like what was in between that.
No,
and it's just a lot of mistimings on my end. Damn it!
I was so certain you were gonna jump in there, and then
I
just kept going, and then you did.
I was.
Who's this guy talking? They haven't introduced themselves.
Me?
Yes.
I did. While Chris was
Jacob
beat
over me.
I don't know who you are. Tell me.
Okay, again, I'm Jacob. I'm coach of the St. Louis Sandshrews.
Thank you.
And we're here to talk about week 5 of the Lost Woods Draft League, and we'll get started with one of my beautiful co-hosts, and his week 5 match.
Hi guys.
I'd like to watch in person.
Yeah, so I had a set against the Worcester WooSawks this week. Myself and Mohammed had a really interesting match that happened after, it was Leafs, but unfortunately was under the weather. But the Endangered Hobbies Grassroots Tour, we got set up on a little laptop and just, did our thing. Shout outs to Mohammed for being able to record the whole set and everything, but let's talk teams. For this week, I really was scared of the double pseudo legendaries that could be brought between the Metagross and the Dragapult, and I wanted something that could really punish that. Not only that, but I want to be able to capitalize on more passive plays, more setup plays with my own. So the main mode I wanted to lean into this week was Shell Smash Baton Pass with Poltegeist, like a super bulky Poltegeist that, because of its special attack stat in this format, can still do a ton of damage. And combining that with Hippowdon, just being able to yawn, Sand Tomb, trap things in while I just do whatever I want with the pivots, was admittedly really good tech for this week. I think the main thing was leading those two in my game 2 bluffed Trick Room really hard. And so being able to force them to play defensive or try and stop Trick Room from going up, stuff like that, allowed for me to capitalize on just being able to pressure with Yawn, Shell Smash, Baton Pass. And then combining that with a super bulky support Hisuian Arcanine, fast enough to outspeed the Metagross and Will-O-Wisp it, and not really invested in any attack, mainly invested in bulk. But if I get that Shell Smash Baton Pass, you smack 2 choice bands on that thing, and it's just doing so much damage, and it's really hard to take down between Intimidate and Sand, boosting the special defense and the natural bulk already. I was really proud of that. For the Grimmsnarl, I leaned into Fake Out, Bulk Up, Sucker Punch, Play Rough. I didn't think I needed the longevity of leftovers this time around. I preferred them on Hippowdon, so I went with Fake Out instead of Protect to be able to let the other modes of the team flourish more, to let me set up Trick Room if I need to, or just get a Shell Smash off more reliably. And then the Trick Room mode, pretty standard in Crabominable and Porygon 2. The Crabominable didn't admittedly get to do much this set, but the pressure that it put on and the conditioning I did to Mohammed to kind of make them think that it was really going to lean into Trick Room was 100% worth it. And yeah, that was my experience.
Yeah, I will say the disclaimer about this set is that for game 1, Mohammed did have no items on any of his Pokemon. He had just forgotten to put the items on there whenever he was building his team. So myself, Ronald, Alec, and everybody who was there watching all got to watch what would have been a really, really cool turn and would have put Mohammed super far ahead in game 1, where he Terra Watered the Armor Rouge, side Mach Punch to activate weakness, or to activate weak armor. Armor Rouge also, because it was Terra Water, even at -1 defense, lived a +1 sucker punch from Grimmsnarl, just barely, but was now the fastest thing, ever. Clicked Meteor Beam, was likely just going to take out this Arcanine, and just never stopped charging because it didn't have the power herb. And so then it just went down the next turn, and that was kind of all that game went. But still really cool. I think the prep on both sides here is really, really strong. I thought that, if Muhammad's items were all present, in game 1, I think we would have absolutely seen a game 3, basically. I think he would have been pretty far ahead. And then he has that, the leeway then to play with that room service Metagross, which is kind of underspeed things like the Crabominable after Hammer Arm. The after you Blossom, I think, is really cool. I have no idea how fast that thing is, but
it's base 50 speed.
Slow. Yeah, so he can get after you, under Trick Room, after you psychic noises and stuff like that. I don't know. Just very cool. Very fun to watch in person too. I think that's my main takeaway.
Yeah, I did feel very, very bad that there were no items in game 1. I kind of really, all love to my opponents, but it is, it's a bit tough when I win these sets off of, technicalities, because it just, it feels like I still have so much to prove with my team. And, my opponents still, regardless of any mishaps or anything, still put up, incredible fights. And it's always really, riveting sets, as you guys described, watching it in person. Playing it in person was super fun. I always enjoy doing that. It's just, yeah, I still feel like I got more left in the tank. And I'm really looking forward to these next couple of weeks before playoffs.
Yeah, we love to support the Massachusetts We Take Those. Talking about the set against John where the dancer activation had everybody confused. Muhammad didn't have any items. We take those. Those are wins.
Absolutely.
That's all it looks like in the record book. So on to the next strong finish of the week. Chris, how's your set?
Yeah, so once again, I was really prepping for kind of just going for a Trick Room mode again because it's just so good. But this week, kind of relying on it a little less, just in case. Specifically because Sam's team has a Clefairy on it. And Clefairy is, in fact, one of the best answers to Trick Room. It can, after you its partner, allowing it to go first, and pair that with a Terra Grass or a Safety Goggles. I can't redirect that away with Vivian, so it could easily go very, very wrong if I do get up Trick Room and there's a Clefairy on the other side. To my surprise, there was no Clefairy brought to the game, and so that put me at ease a lot more. And so I still opted to start game 1 off with going for the rain mode with Pelipper and Beartick. Beartick's debut this week couldn't have been better, I think. Loaded dice with Icicle Spear, with Swiss Swim. You're going to be going first. You're going to be getting that Icicle Sphere off. It's going to be doing a lot of damage. I believe Beartick with... Should have had this pulled up. Base 130 special attack with these Icicle Spears coming out. Insane damage. Sam ended up leading a Salamence and a Gallade. Once I saw that the Gallade was Terra Dragon, I was like, I figured it was going to go for some Dragon Cheer stuff. I was able to take the Salamence out and just kind of go from there. Beartick really showed off this week. So I'm very happy about that. And then game 2, I tried to, the good old fashioned Trick Room with Bronzong and Azumarill and Vikavolt, and kind of just cleaned up from there. So it was a very good week. I think another good week of displaying my team and what it can do in and outside of Trick Room. Just all the options that it has. I think it was another really, really good showcase for it.
Yeah, I was absolutely stoked to see the Beartick make its debut this week. because I remember you were talking to me about like, man, like what does well into this, and I'm like, bring the bear. Like Terra Water just answers so much here, especially like the Rotom and the Golden Go, which for some reason didn't end up bringing Make It Rain. Like it made it much better of an option to play into these teams, and just like bulk up, being able to be faster than everything without having to like invest that much, and just get those loaded dice icicle spears off, being able to like knock out Gallade through Focus Sash after it Terras, stuff like that. It was very good prep on both sides. I love both of these teams here, but I also am like stoked to see the kind of like underdogs of people's teams start to shine through.
I feel that with the Beartic bring. I like looking at Sam's team. It's like, wow, there are a lot of hard hitters on here, but like that Terra Water on Beartic was super super smart, because it's like even if Goldango did bring Make It Rain, it's like it resists that now. Sharpness is now neutral with that Sacred Sword, and you're not usually thinking, oh hey, like Beartic's coming to play. It's like Beartic is such a strong bring, especially with like setup plus Icicle Spear. I think it was a super cool option.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what the third move would be between Bulk Up and Aqua Jet. If it was Aqua Jet, if I remember correctly. But I figured Bulk Up was just a good option since I'm, super fast. If I'm not feeling like super threatened in some scenario, then maybe I could go for that. It just felt like a nice option to have. I did get pretty lucky, so I didn't realize until the end of game 1 that the Golden Go was scarfed, because it was just throwing out Thunderbolts left and right. I thought just, because I had water type Pokemon, like it was just going for all that. But I realized that it was faster than one of my Pokemon. I think it was faster than my Palma, and that's when I realized I was like, oh, okay, this is scarfed. And I'm glad about that, because since it's scarfed, it's not going to be doing a ton of damage to things with Thunderbolt. It did, I want to say 60% to Beartic. And if that was Specs, that could have gone very, very differently. Either like a Specs or a Terra Electric. That definitely could have gone a different direction. So although it was outspeeding my Pokemon, it wasn't too threatening, luckily. And I'm glad I was able to deal with that.
Yeah, because that's the beauty of Swift Swim, is that you're going to be faster than most Choice Scarf Pokemon. But yeah, that Beartic, nasty. That guy's so cool. That's really all I gotta say about it. Is that sick? I love that Chris's team has like such a strong Trick Room and such a strong Fast Mode, whereas like a lot of other teams, like just like looking at Sam, if Trick Room goes up, what really happens, without Clefairy? So I think it's really cool, utilization of your tools. And speaking of people who are trying to run both Trick Room and Tailwind, you talk a little bit about my week 5. I'll start at the top. Like Kian said, prior to the podcast, prior to recording, we just got to sandwich the loser somewhere in the middle as we're talking about our weekly sets. And so I did not have a good set this week. It was a lot of fun. I played Ronald, I played the Waltham Watchogs, and his prep was great. I not even that like I threw the game, I just played awfully throughout most of the week. And Ronald just capitalized on every mistake I was making. I thought that I would be very, very prepared for his Trick Room mode, with the Indeedee and the Hatterene. I was like, okay, I have a Psychic Seed Skeledirge. I am Blaze, so I can Snarl into them. I will actually take into account their special attack drops whenever I Snarl. I have my +1 in special defense, and then I can just slack off, recover, wide guard, with Skeledirge and Garganacl under Trick Room, and we're fine. I decided to not think about the fact that he could just click Helping Hand and Shadow Ball my Skeledirge. Just refused to Terra that Pokemon game 1. And game 2, I tried to run the Imprison Trick Room strategy with Gothorita, while I had the rest of my team. Really, it's just the Dragonite that actually does damage with the Pokemon that I brought. That and a Scrafty was max attack. But I decided to leave I think both of those Pokemon at home, or at the very least, I left the Scrafty at home game 2 in favor of the Smeargle, which just didn't really offer me too much in the end game, which is pretty tough. I never got to see the Slacking, but this Weezing, this Life Orb Weezing, was a problem. It just hit a lot harder than I expected because of the Life Orb. And especially whenever I was forced to go Terra Water on Garganacl or Terra Flying on Dragonite, that Thunderbolt was a great punish. That, and of course, the Miracle Seed on Amoonguss, allowing those Leaf Storms to just pretty cleanly take my Garganacl out, whether or not I tear it. Just, again, very good prep on Ronald's side. It was really the clear Amulet on Hatterene that caused the biggest problem with the Trick Room mode, where I just couldn't Starlet anymore, so I had to just kind of get turns right between Wide Guard and Slack Off and Protect and, all that good stuff. But yeah, we move on. First loss of the season for the heroic St. Louis Sandshrews, and we're gonna bounce back pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think the prep was really good on both sides. I really like the Psychic Seed Skeldurge, to really get it going from the start against these special attackers. It's unfortunate that the Helping Hand Shadow Bell did what it did, but I still think like it was a very good idea. Between under the assumption that you could snarl the Hatterene and the Indeedee and just kind of sit on them for the game. I like the prep was definitely there, and I really liked the idea of it. Unfortunately, it's the same thing for Ronald's side. I think like there was a lot of like unexpected prep where you have the Miracle Seed Amoonguss with that Leaf Storm just like doing way more damage than it needs to be doing. Like you were saying, the Weezing that has the Thunderbolt to punish any of like your Terras that you can go for. I think that Weezing set is really, really good. Specific, like it does its specific job very, very well. So I think it was just a battle of preps, of like just like how to approach. It was very interesting to see. It was very interesting to see it play out.
Yeah, I think it was very clear that Ronald saw the movement to D tier and just like locked in, like sat forward in his chair and was like, all right, I'm just bringing the best Mons that I can, like got all the rust off and is coming full force for the rest of this regular season, gunning for those playoffs, using the techs that everyone is afraid of playing into him. And they're honestly kind of difficult to deny. You can only cover for so many things, especially if there's like one thing that completely throws a stake in your plans. It can get really hard to come back from that. But yeah, I think it was still a very well fought set, and you're still my GOAT.
Y'all don't gotta lie like that. It was not a well fought set, man. I mean, I'll have it linked somewhere.
It was well prepped.
It was well prepped, yeah. I cooked some heat, but yeah, man, it was not well fought. But now we go into a little bit happier story for the pod. Take it away, Big Talent.
Hooray, hooray. Okay, so I look at Hawk's team last week and I'm like, damn, this chicken is kind of raw because there's Politoed and Archaludon. That kind of screws with me because, like, I mean, you see it. Aura Sphere, Body Press. Like, Kingambit does nothing into that. Plus, there's Redirection. I think there's some Fairy types. There's a Breloom. There's Emboar. I'm like, damn, my dumbass is gonna bring Kingambit game 1, and it did air. So, I gave the old man a break after game 1. He's pretty tired. He has like 20-something kills now. Shout out Staraptor still. I know it's just dying, but that's what it's supposed to do. Game 2 I locked in. If you scroll down, actually, I brought a Debutmon, Altaria. I yoinked and robbed this Pokemon from the entire draft league for this specific purpose, and it did its damn job. This thing trapped this thing sang its sweet little heart out, and it killed things. Especially with Haze. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. I love Altaria. Beautiful dragon, little Nimbus cloud. Yeah, Altaria did more than its job. I think it actually ended up getting 4 KOs throughout the entire set. Shout out Gothitelle. Little trapping Goth mommy. Thank you, Gothitelle. Appreciate it. But yeah, no, Altaria did its job, especially with Haze. God, I did not expect Hawk to bring Fake Out, Shell Smash, White Herb, Blastoise, and I only figured that out because I led Goth Staraptor game 3, and Hawk led Electabuzz, Blastoise. My Intimidate goes off, and White Herb activates on Blastoise. I was like, oh god, that's Shell Smash. I need to stop this now. So I end up trading my Staraptor for Electabuzz, and I'm actually very happy that I managed to hone in on Electabuzz being a huge threat throughout this, the set, because that thing had Thunder and Volt Switch and Helping Hand and Redirection. But yeah, shout out Altaria. Altaria is my goat. It single-handedly won me the entire set. But yeah.
Now, absolutely not the week for King Gambit, like you mentioned, because we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4 fighting type moves and 3 Terra fightings, which I think is awesome prep from Hawk's end.
Villainous prep.
I was scared.
I've been dying to ask, this Rotom set. I love you, Anthony. I think your team is one of the best in the league. I think you're one of the best players in this league. I think this Rotom is horrendous. I want to speak my piece first. And
no, go ahead.
Because my thought process is, your Rotom is your switch in to the water type. Specifically, you're switching to Politoed, which otherwise can kind of just click water moves into your team. You know, it's going to have ice coverage, usually. So Altaria is not like the safest switch in. So you have Rotom to switch into the Politoed, but then you red card it out, so it just gets to come back in to reset weather later after you click Sunny Day. The other question that I have was, well, oh yeah, it was red card because you have Perish Trap. So why would you ever want to red card your opponent out if you're trying to trap them in? I just don't understand the item.
So, first question I don't have an answer to because I'm not qualified. My lawyers will not let me answer it. Second of all, the red card was to bait in Archaladon. So get hit by like something like Drizzle, have Goth in already, trap the Archaladon without rain, Sunny Day light screen, and then go from there. Obviously that didn't work out as planned because I didn't bring Rotom for like the entire set. But to go back to that first question in all seriousness, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, you know what? Let's put red card on Rotom. And that's kind of the entire gist of it. But yeah, this thing was kind of booty this week.
Yeah, I was looking at it and I was like, I didn't think it was as bad. I think it was bad at first, and I was just trying to figure out why it was red card, and I just couldn't think of an answer, or like a good answer. I was looking at it for a bit.
I think we were all like playing at the local while your set was happening, and we were like playing our sets, but we had your stream open on the phone, and all of us just like took off our headphones and we're like, why is this thing red card? What is going on?
No, I spent the entirety of my game one against Muhammad just asking that question.
Yeah, literally.
I'm so confused.
Sorry, guys. I have genuinely no answers besides some mad scientist shit that I was thinking at work. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. Yeah, this works. Yeah. And then it didn't work. So, note to self, probably go like any other item on Rotom. Probably like Light Clay would have even been better. Because that way I just get 8 turns of light screen. And be like a little happy little guy. But yeah.
Yeah. Like, you could run eject button to give yourself the switch out. You know, then you get initiative.
I think this is another case of we take those, even though you said it didn't work. I mean, still won the set.
Oh, yeah.
Still won the set. Do not bring Big Tone to a game 3.
Do not bring my ass to a game 3. I will be winning that. No, but yeah, Altaria, I thought that this thing was genuinely unstoppable. Like, I specifically I didn't even calc anything. I was like, you know what? Max HP is pretty cool. Yeah, let's give it like 156 special defense investment. And then just like the rest in bulk and some special attack and speed, just outspeed little guys. But yeah, Altaria, I could not have asked for a better Pokemon. Like, and it's Altaria of all things. Like, it's like base 70. Let me check this actually. I think it's like base 70 across the board for defenses. Oh, my bad. Okay, it's actually way better.
Yeah.
75 HP, 90 defense, and 105 special defense is pretty good. Pretty solid. But yeah, Altaria my goat. But enough about me and my jibber jabber. Welcome everybody to the latest installment of Tech of the Week. Bum 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 bum. Don't copyright us, please. So
why is that the first thing you thought of?
I don't know. My bad.
But guys, a sandboard. Something's gonna pop out.
Okay. Hold on.
Take it away.
There's some heat in the pot here. This is hot. I like this. The fuck. The soup.
The soup.
The soup is hot and oh my god.
The soup is hot.
It's hot,
Okay.
baby.
Soup's
Stamp
hot.
up.
Yeah, soup's hot.
Is it raw too?
Yeah. No, okay, Rockwell cooked here. The soup is so hot right now. Oh my god. Look at this stuff.
We're here.
It's so cool. Encore, disable gravity, nightshade, Sableye. Okay, pretty cool. Alright. Eject button. Oh, okay. I see it. That Delphox with Mirror Herb? I don't know what it's doing, but I like it. I did want to point out the... Oh, that's... Oh, yes. Okay, it was the Yanmega. Whew! That thing's scary. Sharp Beak, Tailwind, Ancient Power with Terra Flying. And Speed Boost, too. That's scary. There's no Trick Room. We don't like Trick Room here. And that Baxcalibur is doing, like, actual VGC things. Like, that is a threat no matter what. Especially with Orthworm by it. It's like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ground moves? Who's that? Oh, they're not calling my phone. Go away. And then Baxcalibur is just like, oh, yeah. Hey, have you met my buddy Scale Shot Swords Dance? Oh, I don't think you have. Now I'm super fast. Plus, I hit super hard with my other stab. And it's like, Gravity? I see the vision. Because it's Hypnosis that can miss, Air Slash that can miss, Scale Shot. And I think that's it, but even still, like, Encore Disable on a Prankstermon? Blech. I love it. Beautiful. Soup is beautiful. Nice and hot. Yeah, I thought that tech from Rockwell was super cool. I'm a big sucker for, like, Gravity Mons. Probably because I run Groudon. but no, I love this. This is so cool.
Yeah, that Baxcalibur is exactly what Beartick wishes to be. Like, that is so strong. Like, Baxcalibur is just a VGC staple. And yeah, so cool.
I also think go right ahead.
God damn it. Okay. I love like how we're getting to see the synergies of Rockwell's team actually come to fruition in these last couple of weeks. You know, there's been a lot of turnover. We've talked a lot about the Guyana Gudras, you know, the locker room chemistry, you know, don't really know if it's there. But now we're actually seeing it, like Anthony just mentioning it. You have your Electivire and your Delphox that are two pretty important support pieces for you. They've got that shared ground type weakness. And so you've got your Excalibur that just wallops ground types. You've got your Orthworm and your Yanmega that are both immune to those. You know, we see the defensive synergy, and then offensively, it's really just Baxcalibur and 5 Shitmons, and it's beautiful.
Okay, awesome, no. Excuse me. 5 Shitmons when there's an Orthworm on the team? Not only that, there's a Terra-Flying Yanmega with Sharp Beak, and you were disrespecting that Pokemon.
Dude just said things like did not change any of our minds here.
No, I didn't. I think Orthworm is good in this league. And I'll stand on that.
No, I think Orthworm is pretty good. I will just continue to disrespect it to push my agenda. That's where I'm at.
This is like, okay, hear me out. You know how we called Rockwell's team like the Looney Tunes locker room for Space Jam 1? I feel like this is when they're coming back against the monsters in the first Space Jam, and it's like we're finally getting to see what this team can do. Yeah, I think we're good. I think Jacob froze too, but yeah, we're gonna record that.
Yeah.
Great.
I think we're fine.
Never mind, they just unfroze.
Anyways, yeah. Another thing I was gonna say is like the Electivire as a redirector. I was gonna like before picking up Electros in the league, I was like looking a lot towards Electivire, but the one thing that kind of turned me off was its sort of like low-key abysmal physical bulk. But being able to punish that with like Rocky Helmet and just making it a very annoying redirector support mon, especially with like Motor Drive to cover for the Yon Mega if there's like any electric moves, like the synergy is starting to show on this team, and I'm like absolutely here for it.
All right, for the next team up for Tech of the Week, I want to talk about AJ's squad because I think this is cool. I think it's, I've already mentioned it once on this episode, but eject button, an honest eject button user, I love that. I love the Sylveon, that all it comes in to do is click Yawn and then get hit and switch out into one of your Pokemon that's actually going to do something, which is awesome. The real reason that this team is here, though, is the Dusclops gets Grassy Seed from Thwackey and then can side trick to take the Eviolite to give you a +1 Eviolited up Dusclops is nasty. That's so cool. We actually got to see that happen, I think, in game 1 against Alec. But, like, you've got that. You've got the Psych Up Hydreigon to psych up your own Hariyama after it belly drums. You can psych up to copy, Fiery Dance boosts, potentially. Because Terra Blast can go physical or special. Like, I think there are just so many cool ways that you can side target on this team that it just really stood out to me.
Yeah, I am definitely a big fan of all of these little side target shenanigans. My only issue with it is that it felt like there were so many little side target things happening at once that it felt like it was definitely difficult to kind of like get momentum because everything was so dependent on just like building off of its partners. So I really do like all of these things that got shown off, but I think the reason AJ might have fallen a bit short was because like these are techs that you'd kind of like separate out throughout weeks, not things that you'd all like put on one team. And like I love seeing all of them here. Like the +6 breaking swipe from a Hydreigon, you are not prepping for that. You're not running your calcs for that. But I think, yeah, like honestly, if these were more separate and like built around more like good stuff teams with like little off guard like techs as you described, I think it would have really had a shot this week. But still, like I do love this tech. I absolutely love the trick Eviolite, Grassy Seed kind of stuff. It cooks. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's a little hard. Like it's such cool text, but it's just so hard, especially this week when you're being affected by such constant pressure of Corviknight, Rillaboom, Tyranitar. Like there's so much damage coming out from Alex's side that like you really can't afford to get a lot of these like off properly. Like there's just so much pressure coming off like from these super strong Pokemon. So it just really cool techs, but just like hard to pull off, I guess.
Yeah. But still sick. And that's the moral of the story. That's why this whole part of the episode's here.
Yeah.
But speaking
Also,
of sick teams and
or sorry, I was just gonna one last thing about AJ's team. I love the team. Why did you name the Dusclops Fingerman? I need to know the answer to this. I need to know the answer to this because that is the most heinous nickname I've ever seen for a Pokemon. His finger
Ew.
man on a
I also
Duck-
like the Hydreigon just being named Head question mark. What did he mean by this?
No, I think the worst one is though you named Sylveon a tad sassy. When if you're
Yeah,
playing
that
against
one.
sassy
That is
Sylveons,
BM.
Yeah.
That's so BM.
Love AJ's nicknames.
All love to the goat.
If we ever do like that could be an idea. We could do like a draft league superlative. Best nicknames going to AJ. That's
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Every week he's coming with it. I haven't forgotten for Kian. Oh my god, speaking of Kian.
This is for Kian.
We can finally.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about Kian's team. You know, we already did talk so much about it, how well the team is, but I just really, really liked the Poltegeist with the Shell Smash and White Herb. Just because there's so much you can do with that. You Shell Smash and you get +2 attacks and speed, and then you just get rid of the defense drop. So if you want to switch that to your really, really hard hitters, you don't have to pass them those defense drops. But like you could just keep that for yourself and just Giga Drain with that +2. Like there's so much you could do with that, and I really, really like that. That is like the best support that this team has, like, or like can have. I feel like something like this where there's so many hard hitters. So I just wanted to talk about that because I thought that was really cool with how many options there were.
Yeah, I think the main thing, the reason why I really like this was because there are two reasons. The first thing is that on this team, anything appreciates the +2 attack and speed. Like I can switch into literally anything here, and it will just become like an unstoppable threat. Even the more supportive Hippowdon, like a +2 high horsepower with like Adamant and enough invest, is just going to kill things. The second thing is that I felt that the team overall was lacking kind of like instant damage. Like there were a lot of times where I felt like if I had a Mon in, I needed to set it up in order to do something. But the Poltegeist pickup in particular, being able to cover for like the multiple fighting weaknesses I have on the team and just be able to click Shell Smash and then switch in defensively to something like a Hisuian Arcanine, but then have the pressure to just instantly go, have the speed and the attack to just gun for the opponent, is a way I got to mitigate that sort of momentum issue that my team can show.
Yeah, it really feels like the Poltegeist kind of just ties everything together, but ties it so well and just supports the team so well with that like really good synergy. So
Thank you.
We love Kian. And now the last tech of the week, speaking of Kian.
Oh my god, it's me again. Except it's not. It's Curry. I want to say that with the context we got for this, a 6-hour team build versus a 15-minute one, I love this 15-minute team build right here. This is so cool. Like, for the first thing, like I was scrolling through like team sheets, figuring like, what do I want to like talk about? And the first thing I see is a Galarian Slowking with Iron Defense, Calm Mind, Stored Power. It's so silly, but it's so good. I love it. Being able to take advantage of Friend Guard and Triage to just make a wall is really good into the playstyles that Corrosion has been working with these past few weeks. And I think being able to just have an undeniable, like a way to punish all of these passive plays by making yourself essentially unkillable, having to target down the mouse hold twice in order to get rid of it, then you bring in the Comfey and just heal up and go for stored powers. It's a beautiful thing. The other side of this is Sceptile with weakness policy and Terra Ghost. So on a turn where like literally anything can happen and you lead like a Sceptile Mischievous, just going for like Terra Ghost, side Shadow Ball, and being able to just like Rock Slide, start to flinch them, get your +2, and then go for Acrobatics next turn. Admittedly, the one thing that I think this team could have been missing is maybe like either like what is the move? Ice Shard on the Satitan to proc that, or maybe like a Terra type that could take advantage of like a side draining kiss on the Comfey. Because in the case of the Comfey, if you go for like Terra Fighting, for example, into the snow mode, and you just like side draining kiss, and then you're faster than everything, and you go for the Terra Fighting Terra Blast, stuff like that, like this team is really cool. I didn't even see it. There's Shadow Sneak on the Misdreavus. That's even better than Shadow Ball because you can just instantly go for it. But yeah, like there's so much here to work with, and I absolutely love it. The Slush Rush Satitan to be able to take advantage of the snow mode and just like AV, get the bulk on both sides, because the physical and special defense of Satitan aren't good. The HP is insane though. So if you can patch up those defenses and just be fast and like have a lot of attack investment, like it's so undeniable. And with such a short amount of time, I think Curry really shone here. I love this team. And I love Curry. What a guy.
Yeah, man. He passed on some of the ideas before he ran the set. The Comfey initially was it was this Fire Tauros that had Will-O-Wisp and did some other things, but then decided just commit fully to the stall mode, to just making the Slow King, making the Sceptile if he gets the weakness policy up. Just those mons just completely unkillable, and I love that direction. I think that's so cool. I don't know if there has been a video posted. I at the very least haven't seen it for this week. But you can see Gerd Corrosion's team that Curry was prepping against. Yes, it would have been nice to have a Terra type on Sceptile that you could proc that with the Draining Kiss. But the Terra Ghost Terra Blast to punish things like the Espathra and the Slowbro, I think is great. Oh, and the Sinistra. You have a lot of ghost weaknesses that you're able to get with that +2 Terra Blast just immediately. Unfortunately, just wasn't able to bring it home.
Wait, did you say proc the weakness policy with Draining Kiss?
It's like, basically, I was saying it could have been a Terra type that would allow for you to do that.
I see. I misunderstood.
Yeah, Terra Ghost is much better here for what this wants to do. Like Terra Ghost, Terra Blast, just being able to nuke things. The only thing is, it does become hard to pull off when there is redirection in the Magmar, but Triage goes before. I think it's +3 priority, and Follow Me is +2. So it would be more easier to get off, but for the purposes here, you're not gonna redirect with Magmar if you see a Sceptile like this anyways. I feel like there's other moves that you would want to click, like Flamethrower. So in essence, it's very cool.
Yeah. Love Curry Puff's teams. Love seeing him build. And just taking a look at how Week 5 panned out across the league. I don't know, any surprises?
I'm looking through this, and given the rankings and everything, all of these matchups feel like they went as expected. The only thing is Rockwell and Leaf, I think, was a very that was really one to look at, because this is the point where Rockwell's really starting to lock in and chase the spot in playoffs. And with all of these teams if you want to pull up the standings, I think a lot of them are at a 2-3 record. We see, only 1-3-2, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams at 2-3. Wait, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, 6 teams at 2-3. So this is really time to play it up. You only have 2 spots right now that would make playoffs that are 2-3. So it's really a lose and out at this point. People really need to just keep going and hope that either the people at the top go winless for the rest of this, or just keep winning their sets.
Yeah, I could agree with Kian here. I think every match this week kind of went not according to plan, but more so as I would have personally expected. It's even with all the standings, it's nothing really stands out to me. this week. I know we're like over halfway through the like normal season, but like yeah, everything's looking pretty normal.
No, I just think it's the interesting part is how top heavy the league has been so far, where you only have 6 out of 16 teams that have a winning record after 5 weeks. I just think that's interesting. Because it shows just how dominant having 2 teams that are 5-0 up to this point. That will not be true after week 6, but having 2 undefeated teams, having 3 teams with 1 loss, and then the Macho Mudkips right there, baby. Only 6 teams with winning records, and 4 of them are on this call right now, baby. That feels pretty good.
Battle for first place.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to like this upcoming week. I think there are a lot of matches to look out for. Let's take a look at the schedule real quick. Yeah, Chris and Jacob, of course, 2 positive goats in this room right now. There's also Anthony and Gerd, battle of the undefeateds. Curry and the Cycling Cyclizars and the District of ColUmbreons, the most teched out teams I know, battling it out. That's gonna be like we're all gonna pick that for Tech of the Week. I know that's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be a really good set.
And then there's also like Rockwell against the John Wood. One of the teams you can look at and understand exactly what's going on with it, and one of the teams where you're just sitting there scratching your head for like 4 hours trying to figure out what you want to bring to it. So I think that's also going to be a very good set. Obviously myself in the Azalea Ampharoses, I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Leaf and Hawk, because those are 2 very good friends. I'm stoked to see how much they cook for each other for week 6. And then, of course, as Corrosion would have you believe, most important match of the season, the 2 undefeated teams going at it week 6, Gerd and Tony. I'm excited for that one. I think that's, of course, there'll only be 1 undefeated team after that, but these are the 2 teams who have been just the most dominant throughout the entire season. Gerd, I don't think has dropped a game yet, and Anthony is always going to win game 3. So it's the unstoppable force and the unmovable object. Who I think if it goes 2 games, you can pretty safely say Gerd's going to win it. If it goes 3 games, I think you can say Anthony's going to win it. So how are we feeling?
I'm saying if Big Tone picks up game 1,
it's over.
I'm just saying, if I lose that game 1, that's proven to be like a clutch factor for me. Like that I might just be him.
Mr. Clutch.
Mr. Clutch. Clutch Minister. Like I might just be him in those game 3s.
Yeah, you have Defiant on your King Gambit, but you are the one who kept Supreme Overlord. Like you are.
Yes, sir. No, that's hard. That goes hard.
You're gonna be the one that's using that game 2 and 3 that comeback.
He didn't stutter, so that means it's true.
That means it's raw.
Like
it's pretty raw. It's pretty raw. I think it's definitely gonna be more. It's gonna be really interesting to see how Gerd and Corrosion approach Anthony's team with that King Gambit, that final Gambit Star Raptor. Because it's gonna be Final Gambit.
You don't have to leak the tech, dude.
just like Anthony's team in general, it's gonna be really interesting to see how they prep for that. I think prep's gonna be a huge factor here.
Man, that Star Raptor could hold anything. It could be anything.
What is it?
Prepare for anything. But yeah, another matchup that I do want to see is like the very well-defined like good stuff draft teams between the Toronto Toads and the Waltham Watchogs. I think will also be one to keep an eye on. I think week 6 is just going to be cinema. Honestly, like all of these matches are going to be really cool, and I'm so looking forward to it. Even like we didn't mention it, but the WooSawks and the Sassy Sylveons, like every match here is worth watching, and I'm so excited for it. Obviously, all of these matches have been worth watching, but like these are really like this is the week. I feel like.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And do we want to go for the Pokemon leaderboard after week 5?
I told Alec I would.
Because I my first agenda that I'm gonna push. Notice how the King Gambit's kill count didn't change after week 4 to week 5. Notice how Fraud King Gambit got 0 KOs this past week. I don't know, man.
Dude, he's sweating. He sprained his ankle. Leave him alone.
Yeah, I think he can. I think he can take a little break for a week. You know, he's been carrying the team on its back, and breaks are needed.
I wanted to
He's
say,
still also like double everybody else.
Yeah.
I did talk to Alec about this today. That Tyranitar going 15-3 is insane.
Yeah, that's wild. I'm actually very scared about that, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah, the thing is just like it's coming up there. The differential is going crazy.
Yeah.
Also, I'm finally getting. Yeah, I'm definitely getting a mon starting to climb up there. The Grimmsnarl of all things is my top fragger right now, which is really funny.
No, that's
yeah. I'm really happy that I was able to get something up there in the Azumarill. I felt like I was kind of lacking the first few weeks.
Oh my god, they're neighbors.
You know, between kills among the Pokemon, you know, my Vivian was kind of stealing the show for a little bit, but I'm glad that I was able to actually get the mons that were getting those KOs up there.
Yeah, we're starting to see some mons like climb up.
There it is. 61, baby. Right next to Masquerada. Yikes.
That guy's got to get his counts up.
Yeah, well, she'll get there. You know, to give a little sneak peek of week 6, Chris and I have already played our set. We're not going to talk about it on this episode, but Masquerada, that kill count got up a little bit. That's all you need to know.
Climbing up.
But yeah, Fraud King Gambit. That's
Whoa.
That's my agenda.
Okay, hold on.
Absolutely.
No. Wow. Okay, that is first of all rude. Second of all, this is King Gambit you're talking about. Are you sure?
T-Tar's coming for your head, man.
I'll just go Terra Fighting on 4 of my Mons.
And it still couldn't stop me.
Well, yeah, it's because you have 5 other Pokemon.
Okay, real, but also
No, that Altaria though was like perfect.
Oh
to beat
yeah,
what Hawk was doing.
It's like I originally brought Altaria in I think week 3 versus Waltham Watchogs as like a slacking counter.
Wow.
Didn't do shit. Didn't do air. I left it home, won the set, and then this week, Cinema. Beautiful, absolutely flawless performance.
What's the differential on Altaria right now? Can we, computer?
I don't know if it's updated. It is updated.
It is. 4-0.
4-0. Look at that. Beautiful.
I'm just saying, my mons do things.
I think my Poltegeist has a very similar record right now because in game 2, it like even after like the Shell Smash and Pass, I just picked up like 3 Shadow Ball KOs, which was really funny. Like I had no right doing that. Like it wasn't doing damage. I was literally running like Bold with like 60 invest, and that's still just enough. That thing does damage. I'm looking for it to come up more and more. We'll see what happens.
Poltegeist right next to the Powerhouse Charger Bug.
Yes, sir.
Just
2 guys that should not have that kill count right now.
And both of them better ratio than Masquerada, baby.
The way that it's better than my P2. Oh my goodness.
That's rude, honestly.
I gotta get my team building together, man.
Iwafuchi would be so mad.
Dude.
Bro.
I'm in his
you can't
DMs
just
right
win
now.
about that.
Don't tell him.
Mr. Iwafuchi, Porygon's a fraud!
Alright, bro,
No,
just wait for
Porygon's
Reg
Porygon.
H. Just wait for Reg H. Same guy that won a PC and then went 5-4 at Orlando. He's been through it, okay?
He's just like me for real.
All that being said,
Get that together, John Tier.
Again.
Yeah,
And
no,
I was gonna
get him
say,
out of John Tier. He had a rough week.
There's something cursed about John Tier. Because King Gambit, the 1 week he's up there, immediately
Yeah.
0 kills.
And
So I'll say-
like that was made for John, so like if it
I
is
think-
cursed, if it is cursed.
If it's cursed, we gotta take him down.
I think nothing needs to be in there right now.
Yeah, there's nobody John Tier right now.
Except there is a person that's gone 2-0 in all of their sets that may be deserving of the John Tier.
That's what I'm saying.
Perchance.
There's one team who's not only undefeated, but hasn't dropped a game yet.
I think it's
And-
time to put him up there.
Not to push agendas, but if John Tier is cursed, I think this is the best week to find out.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
I think number one, it's earned, and if John Tier's cursed, shout out Corrosion.
Hold on. Why is King Gambit in D tier?
Yeah,
right now?
okay. So I'm glad somebody
Why,
pointed.
why did you just
I
place
was
him
waiting
there?
for someone to point it out.
You like dropped him off on the side of the road. Like,
Fine.
dude, he doesn't know how to use an Uber. He gets intimidated and then he just slices things. He can't use a phone.
He rides around on his little Roomba.
Yeah, like
Haven't you seen how that thing moves?
goes like 5 miles an hour. You expect him to get home?
Okay, are we going?
Yeah,
S
thank
tier?
you.
I
Thank
think it should
you.
be right next to Anthony's team.
That's actually fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
I
I
agree
think-
with that.
I'm trying to think of any other moves right now.
I think for me, I think I stay where I am. I think I don't think I move.
I think it's valid to have all of the teams with winning records in A and above. Like that
Yeah.
seems very valid.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. I do think there, not to like bring it up as we always do, but there is one team that is 0-5.
yeah. And if we're putting the 5-0 team in the top tier, I think the Rambunctious Reggies and the Waltham Watchogs should switch.
I agree with that.
Especially after the upset this week, they've moved up in the power rankings.
Yeah, I honestly I would say like C, high C or low B, honestly, given that like they finally shown what they can bring, and it was really good. But I can see high C.
I think that things
love
are
that
going to
brand.
shake up a lot after this coming week. I think we can
Yeah, that's
comfortably
cool,
say
bro.
that. I'm sorry. Please go.
Honestly, like I don't
I
know
kind
what
of
else
like
to move.
yeah, like I think this is just fine. I'm not really one to move anything here. I think we're at more of that like middle ground portion of the draft where it's like, oh yeah, we can hang out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think after like these next couple of weeks, there will definitely be more shakeups. But like where we're at right now, I'm very comfortable with how this tier list is looking. And look at all of us in the top. Hello.
Very nice to see.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Little podcast lads.
Look at us go. But yeah, I think that's about it for now. We'll see like
Yeah,
how things shake up throughout week 6, but yeah.
I think Jacob might be going through some.
I think it's good.
Yeah. Oh, there's Jacob. Hi. Okay, Jacob's back.
Hi, Jacob.
Hi, Jacob. Oh.
Oh, what'd you
Bye,
do, man?
Jacob.
Oh, it's very, very delayed on my end right now. So we're trying to.
Oh.
Okay. You're doing your best, and we're
Okay.
very, very proud of you.
We're so proud.
And I
of you.
think it's about time to wrap up
Yeah.
anyways.
Should we do like a little outro? We should do soundboard.
Bye.
If I'm back, we can.
Okay. Well,
You seem to be back.
I don't even know.
yeah. I think you're
I
back.
seem to be back. Okay, sick.
Mhm.
Shout out my beautiful co-hosts, for carrying this episode while I heard every fourth word any of them said. Yeah, hopefully, I don't know, man. Hopefully the internet just fixes itself.
You can do this.
Because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I can't.
All right, let's take it
I
up.
super.
All right.
cannot close out
Thank
this
you for
episode. Somebody
watching
else gotta do it. 'Cause I don't know
episode-
if I'm gonna be.
Okay, I'll finish it off. I'll
Okay.
finish it off.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for-
guys for watching episode 6
I
of the
hate this
Lost Cause
motherfucker.
Pod. We love you all. Shout out to my even more beautiful co-hosts and the wonderful Leaf, Lashkey Kids GOAT, organizer of this whole shebang. I love everybody,
She what?
and good night.
Goodbye. I love you.